The night air hung heavy with the scent of dampness and decay as I stepped out of my car and onto the cracked asphalt of the abandoned parking lot. The once bright sign of WKRL now creaked in the wind, a rusty hook bearing the faintly legible words, "Wake up to local radio." The building itself loomed before me, a monolith of neglect with shattered windows and a door that hung crookedly from its hinges. Shadows danced across the walls as the moon struggled to pierce the canopy of trees that seemed to lean in, as if to eavesdrop on my presence. I could feel the weight of history bearing down on me. This was the old studio where many a DJ had spun their final tracks, the last broadcast before the station went dark. The wind picked up, carrying the distant hum of static and the occasional burst of eerie music, sending shivers down my spine. I fumbled for my flashlight, the beam of light casting an otherworldly glow across the overgrown lawn. Every step I took felt like an intrusion, as if I was trespassing on a realm that had been abandoned for decades. As I pushed open the creaking door, I was met with an inky darkness that swallowed the faint light of my flashlight hole. The air inside was heavy with the scent of rot and mildew, the stench of forgotten memories. Cobwebs clung to every surface, like skeletal fingers grasping for something that had long been lost. I made my way deeper into the station, my footsteps echoing off the walls as I navigated the maze of corridors. Every door I opened led to another abandoned room, another chapter in the station's long and forgotten history. The farther I went, the more I felt a creeping sense of unease, as if I was being watched by unseen eyes. I stumbled upon a dusty control room, the remains of a once thriving studio now reduced to a pile of rusting equipment and discarded papers. The air was thick with the scent of stale coffee and yesterday's news. A faint hum emanated from the far corner of the room, the source of which I couldn't quite pinpoint. As I approached the source of the hum, I realized it was a radio, a solitary device, sitting atop a stack of dusty cassettes and forgotten records. The screen flickered to life, casting an eerie glow across the room. The words, WKRL Broadcasting Live, scrolled across the display, as if the station had never gone dark at all. Suddenly, the air around me seemed to thicken, the shadows deepening into dark, living things. I felt a presence closing in, a malevolent force that seemed to emanate from the very heart of the radio itself. The words on the screen began to change, scrolling rapidly as the voice on the other end of the broadcast whispered a single, chilling phrase, "We're still on the air." I tried to flee, but my feet seemed rooted to the spot. The voice grew louder, more urgent, as it spoke words that sent shivers down my spine. The presence closed in, a suffocating darkness that seemed to press down on me from all sides. And then, in an instant, everything went black. The darkness was absolute, a void that seemed to consume me whole. I was trapped, a tiny, helpless thing, at the mercy of the malevolent force that seemed to emanate from the very heart of the radio. As I stood there, frozen in terror, the voice on the radio spoke a single, final word, "Welcome." And in that moment, I realized that I was not the intruder, I was the broadcast.